Welcome, welcome. I'm going to hope you can hear me here for a minute. I forgot to turn off my volume. So if I have my volume on my computer and my speaker, anyway, it causes feedback and you all are not happy campers. It's too noisy. So just let me know you can hear. Welcome, welcome. It's nice to see everybody here. Just want to make sure you can see and hear. We'll just take a minute to make sure. We've got some good questions tonight. We'll be concise. Hello, everyone. Oh, you can hear. Hi. Thank you so much for being here. We've had such a fun day today. We have a workshop going on here in Dallas. We just had a fun day. It's just been a really, really fun day. So it's really nice to spend a minute with you all because I really appreciate you being here. All right, great, great, great. Okay, so I'm going to start right off with the questions, and then we can see where they take us. Okay. All right. The first one is it's talking about 1952, and it's talking about the jacket. And 1952 is a jacket pattern. It's the one we did our sew along. It's a fit to stitch pattern, Ellie's pleated jacket, and it has a buttonhole. And the question is, do I recommend putting something in between the jacket and the facing on the buttonhole? And I would say no. You need 2 layers for a buttonhole. Sometimes you can do it with 1, but you just don't need anything in between those layers. So my recommendation is no, you have 2 layers. As long as you have 2 layers, you don't need to do anything else. Okay? All right, so then let's go to our first picture that I want you to look at. And this was sent to me and wanted to know what base dress pattern they should use to do this. Now, this is a really beautiful dress. These crystals are all hand beaded. I mean, it's absolutely a stunning little dress. So the question is, what is the base pattern that we should be using to create this dress? What's her starting point is really what her question was. So what I did is I did my homework, and I'm going to basically tell you all that you should do the same thing, but I'll show you what I did. First off, I kind of messed up. I'm always giving away the punchline before the thing. You have the designer, Oscar de la Renta. You have where it's located. You have the price. You know, those things are quite a bit. You have that it's crystals. So what I did is I searched for Oscar de la Renta blue crystal dress. And when you put in those words, the dress pops up because it's current. So that's key to that, you know, it's current. It's, you know, I mean, you got to do this when it's current. If you wait, even if you're not going to make the dress right away, you got to do it when it's current so that you have the information to make the dress. Okay, so once I did that, I found there was, as you all know, whenever you see a dress online, typically there's several versions of that same dress. There's several pictures of the same dress. So I went through those pictures and look what I found. Can you see all what I'm seeing? Now I'm showing, and these pictures were right from the internet, but you can see a bust dart. Are you seeing that? The picture on the right, you can see a little bit better than the picture of the left. You have to look close, but what you see is a bust dart. So as soon as I see a bust dart there, what I know is it's classic blouse. That tells me kind of what the base is. So this is classic blouse. Let's go back to how it's done. The waist dart is released. It's just, you know, how many inches at the bottom, and you can kind of figure that out. It's probably about 45 to 50, depending on the size. And then you would just have to draft the collar. It's got crystals that are hand sewn on the front. Look at the price. It is real suede. It is not a faux suede, which is interesting because over the years, Neiman Marcus, whenever I've gone in and asked for leather or suede or fur, they've always told me that they do not carry real fur, real leather in the store. They only carry faux. That is just not true. So whatever the salesperson told me, that's, you know, just not a true story. So here, when you go to look at this dress, they show you the back, which has no crystals on it at all. It's an invisible zipper that zips up the back. I find that to be very fascinating because here, this is almost a $6,000 dress and not one single bead in the back. That's just really interesting to me. This is what's called a flat collar. So you'd have to learn how to draft that collar, or you could take it off something else you had, but that would be the building of the dress. Start off with pattern 600, make it into a dress, flare it a little bit at the bottom, do a short sleeve, put an invisible zip, put the center front on the fold, invisible zipper up the back, and then you make your collar. It's easy enough, you guys. Isn't that fun? So very nice. I thought that was great. Okay, let's look at this one. Now this next question is from a woman who was in our spiffy classes, in our fitting classes. So once we fitted the pattern and she got home, she said, you know, this pattern won't lay flat. What's going on? Maybe I should make another one. And so no. Now what I did is I did two pictures. So the picture on the left is the picture that she sent me. I made a copy of it so you can see the problems. Now, so let me explain what's going on. When you are making a muslin and pants, for the most part, what we know is there's internal and external darts. And the internal darts have to be sewn on the sewing machines. Those are those two waist darts. She's released those. She's laid them flat. So the pattern itself should lay flat. But what we don't know about, what most of us know at this point, there's external darts. And they end at the edge of the pattern. And they go all the way from side to side. Now, I pinned these darts on her. And when I pinned these darts on her, I must have pinned the middle part fatter than another, because you can see the pattern's kind of rocking. And the green arrow is the middle, and it's bigger than the red arrow or the black arrow, which is why it's not laying like it's supposed to. So this dart should go from the red arrow being the largest to the black arrow being nothing. And the green, I only pin that just so that you can get a visual when it's on the body, but the actual green shouldn't be transferred or even regarded. The only thing that matters is the distance of the red arrow to nothing to the black arrow. So that's all that's doing. It's a dart. It's changing. You can see it's changing the angle of the leg because she's got it laid on top of the tissue pattern. And you can see exactly what it's supposed to be doing is changing the angle of the leg so that it will fit better. And that's exactly what it's doing. So the red arrow is the amount I'm taking out. The black arrow is where it's tapering to nothing. The green arrow should be disregarded because that's what's causing the pattern to not lay flat. Easy enough? And that's kind of my bad pinning is really what that is. Okay, this next question is about fabric here. I don't have a photo for this, but she bought a couple fabrics. She didn't, before we sold out the fabrics and took the fabrics down, she did not, she didn't write down the care. So you should always, whether we have the care or not, here's your pattern. You want to take two 4x4 squares of fabric. Just cut two 4x4, same size. Wash one. Just throw it in the wash with other things. And after it's washed, you want to compare it back to the original. And what you're looking for in the washer, generally, is color change. Generally, the washing, whether it's hot water, cold water, you can wash it however you want, but you're looking for color change. The washer impacts typically color. Then if there's no changes, or you can observe the changes, you can put it into the dryer. And in the dryer, we're looking for size change. Typically, water doesn't change the size, but heat does. So I would always recommend a cold water wash, and I would always recommend like just a tumble dry. Nothing excessive needs to be done to our clothing. It's just typically not that dirty that we have to do our whites and our underwear, that's a different issue, but not with our clothing itself. Our clothing shouldn't be soiled to the point that we have to kind of wash it that hot. We don't do outdoor work that much. We're just trying to get rid of some stuff. Okay, this next question is also, I don't have a photo for this, because she's asking me if I sell French fuse interfacing. French fuse is a brand name. It is not in the industry. It is not it's just a brand that's sold to home sewers. So it's not found in the industry. I don't sell French fuse. In fact, I think I sell something that's better than French fuse. French fuse, in my opinion, everything I heard was it didn't stick. When I first started teaching in the industry, and I had a lot of interfacing questions, people would say to me, why won't my interfacing stick? And it seemed like a lot of it was French fuse. Not to put down French fuse in any way, but just it was terrible. The glue on the French fuse, in my opinion, was very low quality and very sporadic, and it was difficult to get it to fuse. So one of the reasons I started selling interfacing was simply because the quality and the fusible, the everything was just so much better. But there's no quality to, there's no brand name to it. It is just PD black, something, and PD white. That's what my manufacturers label it. So I don't have French fuse. I would suggest you not using French fuse because there's so much better things out there, in my opinion. That is a my opinion type thing. All right, so this next question goes to organization of my patterns. And they wanted me to spend a minute talking about how my patterns are organized. So we sell these little pattern hooks, and that's a picture of what they are. They're on the website. You can just search for pattern hooks, and that's how, that's what we sell. Now, I did not create this idea. This is how they are stored in the industry. They're stored on hooks. Now, this is a closet in my home where I have all these patterns. Now, these patterns are numeric. They start literally at the lowest number we have, and they go all the way across. And I have two sides of the closet that look like this. I only took a picture of one side. We have 150 something. I don't even know how many patterns we have. So I could just tell you, though, they're all in this closet. Okay, that I can tell you. So the reason I'm telling you that is when you think about how many patterns are in storage, it's a relatively small amount of space. That's why they're on pattern hooks. That's why they're done this way. Now, I did a little red arrow so you could see that the way I just kind of cut a hole, or there's hole punches, you can do many things. And that will go through that hook. You put them through the hook, and then you number them. Now, you can do that to tissue. It doesn't have to be cardstock. Cardstock's what they use in the industry. I don't use cardstock. Number one, because the guy who does my grading hates cardstock. He just hates cardstock. He doesn't do my grading. I do my grading. He does the digitizing. I actually said that wrong. So I love these patterns. I love this organization. They're so easy. It takes me a minute to get my pattern. They're in order. I can't say enough about it. But for those of you who don't have any kind of hanging space, I can see where this wouldn't work for you. But again, she just wanted me to send them on, to let you know that it was just how I do it and how we hold it. But you could do it too, and I would highly recommend it because, again, the amount of volume that I can get in a closet is quite a bit. Okay, the next question is, I don't have a photo on this. They wanted to know the rules of Silhouette U. Silhouette U is just a little pattern of the month that we started because I really felt like, I guess I got tired of me. I saw what I was doing. I wanted to see what you were doing. And so at least with the pattern of the month, some of you were in classes and I could see what you were making, and I felt like everybody would be inspired to see what you were making rather than what I was making. So we sat around one day and just kind of threw out ideas, and the idea came up that why don't the PLM, for the PLM, that's a pattern that we all have well in advance. We all know it well in advance. Why not have you all make that up and send in what you had made? And I had gone to a class, and the incentive was, if you do this, we'll pay you. So I thought, okay, let's incentivize them a little bit, and we'll give you $50. And if you send in, and we'll have one winner a month, You'll get $50, and then after 6 months of winners, everyone who's contributed for those 6 months will go in the drawing to win $500. So that was where the idea came from. It was really just about me sharing you with you. And so the rules are non-existent. They're basically the pattern of the month is usually toward the end of the month because we want to give people a chance to get their pattern. We mail them on the 10th. Those who are in the POM club, you can order it. If you're not in the POM club, you can order it any time. But if you're in the POM club, we ship it on the 10th of the month. It gives you time to get your pattern, get it made, get that picture back to us. The only thing we ask is that at least a couple days before the webcast, you email them to me. I always, when I get them later, I always try to get them in. I'm going to show you this picture right now is the POM. This is somebody who sent it to me today. Yeah, she knows that she's not in time to get the POM, but she still loved it and wanted to share it, and I love that. Her edging is all done with a rolled edge. I just love it. I just love it that you guys, we still want to share because you know what? It is fun. It's fun to make something up and then share it because especially if it works out, it's like, yes, this is amazing. Let's share it. And so that's what the Silhouette U is. Again, there's no rules except have it to me. Well, I shouldn't say that. There are rules. The rules are I want you to take a picture of yourself. I want you to wear it and take the picture. Don't put it on a dress form. I want to see it on you. Because, and I'll cut your picture, I'll cut your head off. I mean, I said that sounded wrong. You can take the picture. I don't want to put heads up because I worry that people will steal the images. So we want to make it as you know, not modest, but we want to protect you. I don't use first names and last names. You know, I just want you to be protected. So that's all. So it's a lot of fun for those of you who have participated. I have loved seeing all the versions. I've loved seeing the fabrics you use. I've just really loved it. And what Basima just said here is that it is very inspiring to see everybody else that's sewing. Because I think sometimes as we are sewing in our holes, our rooms, whatever we're sewing in, we need community. Community is a healthy thing. So for us to see the sewing community and to come together, even if it's in a small format, I think that's a good thing. So that's the purpose. And that's our reasoning behind it. And it's a whole lot of fun. All right, then this last question, I don't have a photo for it either. But I do have a, the question is Maggie's blouse number 611 has a 2-part sleeve, which must be set in. Can I substitute the sleeve from classic blouse so it can be sewed before sewing in the side seams? And yes, just I want to clarify. The answer to that question is yes, you can. But I want to clarify that just a little bit. So when you have a 2-piece sleeve, you cannot sew it in before, sew it in and then sew it in up the side seam. It has to be set in because the seams don't align. The shoulder seam and the side seam of the blouse do not align to the front and back seam of the 2-piece sleeve. So can she substitute the 1-piece sleeve? The answer is yes. All those 600, all those woven patterns that are below 1,000, your jean jacket, same thing. Those are all the same size sleeve and armhole. So you could use any of them as substitutions. The goal was to give you all those sleeves of options so that when I hang up my sleeves for my own personal sewing, I don't put the sleeve with the pattern. I put all my sleeves in the beginning. So all my woven sleeves are there together. So if they have a ruffle at the bottom, whatever they have, I can choose those sleeves. So that 400 pattern is all accessory sleeves, type accessory things, to woven tops. And they all are interchangeable. And that idea was from my mother. Okay, same with the knits, same with the jackets, same with all those sleeves. Okay, now, yeah, I do. I think you're right. I think Basima is saying it's inspired to see what other people do, get more ideas, seeing different types of styling. And also, you know what I think it does personally? I think it says to me, I hope it says to you, gosh, if they can do it, so can I. If they can do it, so can I. Sometimes with me, you say, no, she does she does, she's, whatever, a professional. No, no, no. If I can do it, so can you. That's the goal. So if they can do it, so can you. We can bring it down a few levels until everyone feels comfortable that if they can do it, so can I. That's the goal. That's really the goal. To get you sewing. Sewing is just a incredible, I don't know, the more I do it, the more I love it, you guys. I know over the years people have said to me, oh, if you go into a hobby and you do it professionally, you'll hate it. No, no, no. I'm sorry, that's just not true. I can tell you honestly that is just not true. My father told me, do what you love and the money will follow. I'm very grateful for that statement. Do what you love. Have enough faith and confidence in yourself that do what you love and the money will follow. And I think that is a true statement. So I'm very grateful to do what I love to do. Today, all day, we spent fitting the ladies. We have a 2-day fitting class here in Dallas. We're at the store of fabrics. We just got to look and hold great fabrics and fit clothes beautifully. And everybody is just so happy. How could you not be happy doing this? Everybody's doing what they love. And so I'm so very grateful that I get to do what I love and that I get to help others. That's how do you get happier than that? I can't tell you how to be happier. All right. So having said that, I don't see any questions. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, my goal was to keep these 20 minutes. We did it, finally. I'm always elaborating and talking and going on and on. I can actually just limit myself to my 5,000 words today. That's all I'm allowed. That's kind of a little joke. I've hit 5,000, but I'm happy to answer questions. So just let me know if there's anything else you need. If I'm looking up, I don't see any questions on here. The new patterns, you guys will ship the beginning of September. They're another week or maybe 2 away. They'll call us. We're just they're in the oven cooking. That's all. There's a time frame that we have to wait between when they're done and when they're actually shipped. So we're just waiting. Oh, you guys sending love? Is that what those little bubbles are? Oh, maybe I'm supposed to tell you all to like. I always forget to do this, and my son's not here to remind me. You're supposed to like the channel. You're supposed to subscribe. You're supposed to you're supposed to leave a comment. I love your comments, you guys. Even those comments that are not nice. I just love it when y'all defend me. I shouldn't say I love it, but I appreciate it. Let me say it really where it is. I so appreciate that I don't have to respond to that stuff. I don't have to do any of that. You guys just do it for me. So thank you so much for having my back and for really taking care of me. You're taking care of me, and I appreciate that. All right, so having said that, we will say goodnight. I will let you know. I am not satisfied with my pressing for Elle's jacket. Do you ever take yours to the cleaners? Yeah. No, but you gotta, that doesn't tell me, like, what are you, is it the fabric? Is it your equipment? If it's your equipment, you want to get new equipment. If it's your fabric, then, something's got to be wrong. So I'm just trying to kind of get at, thank you, Joyce. What's wrong? When you say you're not satisfied with your pressing, that's probably too generic. More specifically, what are you not happy with? Keep in mind that the cleaners have a very high, I'm going to call it a burn rate. You're not happy with the pleats. Let her answer just so that we don't guess, because what we would do is just guess. So let me ask you what you're not happy with. And if you'll, hi, you guys, hi. Thank you all. Yeah, Randy, you want to answer me back as to what you're not happy with? Maybe you're still here. Now, you keep in mind that cleaners are not tailors. I don't think I'd take it to a cleaners as much as I would take it to a tailor. Because oftentimes I've taken to a cleaners and I've had to correct their pressing because they're not as detailed as I am. They're good, don't get me wrong, but I would take it to a tailor and say, here, I've made this jacket, I need a final press. It's called a final press. Take it to a cleaner. The facing isn't turned down around the collar. Facing isn't, do an understitch. Do you know what an understitch is? You shouldn't be clipping in there. You shouldn't need to clip. In fact, if you've clipped too much, you have nothing to understitch to. So it could be that you just go in there and understitch. But it should stay with pressing. If you just press it to the inside just slightly, you could tack it at the shoulders so that that facing stays in place. You know, it's okay to use stitching, but also you might take it to a tailor. That might be my suggestion, because when you go to pick it up from the tailor you can say to the tailor, okay, what did I do wrong? Why did you do a better job? And he'll tell you, or she'll tell you, hey, you didn't do XYZ. Okay, the lining isn't turned down around the collar, but there's no lining around the collar. Just email me privately and we'll have a chat. But my suggestion would be take it to a tailor, not to the cleaners. Okay, you'll learn something from a cleaners from the tailor, because you're actually talking face to face with the tailor and you're saying, what am I doing wrong here? Okay, all right, so that should help. All right, you all, we'll say goodnight. Thank you so much for being here. You're well loved, and we'll see you on Tuesday night. All right, bye.